everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of The Amazing Spider-Man, the 2012 Spider-Man reboot that I gotta tell you I'm not the biggest fan of by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I will say this, there are definitely parts of this movie that I think are done exceptionally well. I mean, the physical effects, or the special effects are just amazing. The way that the suit looks on screen, I mean, and like the moment where you see him like falling and the suit is wrinkling in the air. I mean, that's just so cool. And I thought Andrew Garfield was a fantastic Spider-Man. I mean, he threw out those quips and just perfectly, and much better in my opinion than Tobey Maguire ever did. And I thought he was just fantastic when he was in the suit. And seeing Martin Sheen and Sally Field on screen, even though they're not what I think of when I think of Uncle Ben and Aunt May, it was really cool seeing them because I love them as actors. I thought that the effects on the lizard were great. I mean, I thought across the board pretty much every moment of this film had elements in it that I thought were good. I mean, the biggest positive in this movie, I think by far, is of course the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, who of course were a couple at least then. I don't really keep up on that kind of thing. I'm not sure if they are now, but I thought that they had a great amount of chemistry, and it was really entertaining to see them on film. And I thought it hit its zenith here, because in the next film I thought the situations that they were given were too ridiculous to really kind of hold that up. But I thought here that was great. That's pretty much where I end my positives of this film, though. On the other hand, there are a number of things about this movie that just drive me nuts. I feel like the writers of this film just did not understand this character. I thought that there was so many decisions that were like the antithesis of the Spider-Man mythos and the Spider-Man that I know and I love, and that just drove me nuts. Now, I'll say this. I do feel like there are definitely a lot of people who are married to the source material, and when a movie comes out and they change things, they're just outraged just because it's not what's in the film. Or in the comic, I should say. And in those cases, I think there are lots of times where that totally works, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, for instance, Juggernaut being a mutant in X3, although there was a part of me that was always a little bit bummed about that, I understand the decision. And Michael Clark Duncan, I thought, was an exceptional Kingpin, even though he was black. And there's lots and lots of examples of changes to the source material that I can totally run with and have no problem with. I mean, Old Man Logan to Logan is a very different story. However, I thought the changes in this just went completely against who the character is, and to a large degree just really undercut the story that they should have been telling. I mean, when they introduced him in like the opening scene where there's like a nerd getting beat up and Peter goes and sticks up for him, I'm like, what is this movie? What is going on? That's not Peter Parker. I mean, he's supposed to be kind of nebbish and nerdy, and they didn't necessarily have to have him be the one being beat up, but him sticking up for him, that makes no sense. When he goes from being like the guy who was sticking up for the little guy at the beginning of the movie, and he's sticking up for the little guy at the end of the movie, he has no character arc. And even further than that, in no way should he really blame himself for the murder of Uncle Ben, other than the fact that Uncle Ben was outside because of him. That would be like me blaming myself for my dad. If like, anybody blaming themselves if they were out and somebody went to get them and that person died. I mean, you're going to blame yourself to a certain degree, but I don't think it has the same emotional punch as it should. And the fact that they didn't actually say that with great power comes great responsibility line, I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me. And what they threw out instead was like word salad that meant the same thing but didn't work. It was like, Peter, if you got great power, you should be responsible. Like, it wasn't those words exactly, obviously, but it was the equivalent of that. It was like taking this perfect line that they could have thrown out there that fans absolutely adore, and for no reason at all changing it, but trying to do the exact same thing anyways. It was like, what? And that was across the board with this movie. There's so many moments like that where they do something completely similar to how it would have been in the comics or in the previous movie or in the animated shows or any of that kind of stuff, but they just flip it on its head just enough that it no longer works and it completely gets away from the point of the scene. Like, this is a spoiler, but at the end of the movie, again, spoiler, so if you want to jump ahead a bit, but at the end of the movie, Captain Stacy dies, right? And that's a moment from the comics, and it's such a powerful moment from the comics where he reveals to Peter in that last moment that he knows that it's Spider-Man and to take care of Gwen, and it was such an emotional punch because you didn't expect him to know, right? Well, and they do their version of it in this, but instead he's like, stay away from Gwen. It's like, what? Like, why would you do that? Like, why do the thing that we know, but then just switch it for no reason? Like, oh, and it was such an annoying part of the second film. Like, if they'd done that change and set up something cool in the next film, that would be great. But it was handled so poorly in the next film, it just infuriates me. And then there's like all kinds of other stuff, like how did the lizard get all that equipment into the sewer? And the fight at the end, there's the moment where a bunch of guys get turned into lizards, and then we never see them again. It's not like Peter doesn't try to go and stop them. They're just that you assume at the end of the movie they get switched back for whatever reason, but you never see them. It's just like there's no care in the telling of this story. There's no care in handling the characters, and I thought that Andrew Garfield was a terrible Peter because I felt like throughout the entire film he wanted to seem cool, and that's not Peter. Even when he becomes Spidey, if you up the cool factor a little bit, all of a sudden had a little bit more confidence, I could have gone with that. But that is not he throughout the entire. Like, yeah, okay, maybe he stammers when he talks a bunch of times, but that's just lame. Like that's just Shia LaBeouf and Transformers lame. It just doesn't work for me. This film just frustrates me to no end. So those are my thoughts on The Amazing Spider-Man. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you think I'm just being wildly overcritical and nitpicking, or if you completely agree with me about all the flaws that I just mentioned. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people come check out this video and join the conversation. And other than that, if you are new here or you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when I put out a new video and you can come join the conversation. Other than that, have yourself a good day.